For more on the latest situation, we're joined by Bobby Ghosh, managing editor of the online news outlet Quartz. Bobby, good morning.
Good morning.
We heard in our eye-opener commentators say that the push for a ceasefire was just an illusion. Both sides are not prepared to stop this war. Do you think that's true?
Unfortunately, yes. The positions that each side has adopted are so far apart that it's hard to see, even with John Kerry's enormous work and sort of remarkable optimism, it's hard to see how he managed to bring them together. The demands that each side are making, they must know that this is impossible. Israel says it wants to eliminate Hamas. It wants to eliminate all kinds of threat coming out of Hamas. That's never going to happen. You can destroy 100 tunnels, but the people who built those tunnels will build the 101st and the 102nd, and then the cycle will repeat itself. Hamas is saying it would not have any kind of negotiations until Israel lifts the blockade. Not simply stops firing, but lifts the blockade. Hamas must know that's not going to happen. Nobody, even the people who are negotiating on their behalf, must know that that's not going to happen. So those two positions, it's like each side has painted itself into the corner of a room, but opposite corners. Now the challenge for John Kerry and everyone else who's trying to bring an end to this violence is to bring them inches forward towards each other. And that's going to be difficult. Too much blood has been shed, and too recently the wounds are very fresh. The emotions are very high.
You mentioned inches, which is almost what this 12-hour ceasefire feels like that's supposed to be enacted this morning.
Yes.
Do you think Hamas will actually stop firing?
Well, so far, knock on wood, I just checked the Twitter verse before I came in. It seems to be holding. Hamas also needs to regroup a little bit. This has been a terrible pounding they've taken over nearly 3 weeks, and Israel is concerned that they might regroup a little too
much, yeah.
Right now, it would appear, as Barry reported there, the Palestinians who live in Gaza are essentially counting the costs a little bit and digging bodies out of the rubble, but we'll see. It's a little hard to predict Hamas. They are not a rational actor, if you like, not always.
Bobby, if there's a middleman here, and it's hard for the U.S. to be a middleman sometimes in this, obviously, but if there is a middleman, in the past, Egypt would often play that role.
Yes.
But it's harder now, isn't it, for them? So if not Egypt, who?
Well, Turkey and Qatar are speaking for Hamas at the peace negotiations. Both sides have some connections, and they're both fairly credible. They have in the past, particularly Qatar has in the past, tried to broker peace deals all over the Middle East. Again, the difficulty is to know whether whatever deal is struck, whether Hamas will accept all of it, because it does not have a seat at the table itself that gives it a sense of a little bit of plausible deniability. They can always turn around and say, well, we didn't make that promise, Qatar did. Right. And secondly, even if they accept the terms, will they then live by it? History suggests they won't. So that's the thing to be worried about.
Excellent big picture perspective, Bobby Ghosh. Thank you so much.
Thank you.